If you live in Arizona, in or around the Phoenix area, and you're considering bankruptcy, you'll love this tip from Christy Thompson of ArizonaLegalAdvocacy.com.
What is the difference in a Chapter 13 and a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of each?
Cindy, that is such a good question. I get that question all the time. Now, a Chapter 7, and I know I've mentioned this before, it's my favorite chapter, and the reason being is that everyone truly gets a fresh start. Now, you can get a Chapter 7 bankruptcy and the fresh start that I'm talking about if you make a certain income, and that income enables you to pay off your monthly expenses, but there's nothing additional left. Now, I would say almost 100% of my clients feel as if they are paying just the minimum on all of their bills, and there are no monies left to pay those additional bills that are creeping up on them. So Arizona has set up some amounts that you can make and you can't make over them in order to file for Chapter 7. So the difference between the Chapter 7 and 13 is there's a income limit on a Chapter 7. Now, a Chapter 13, there is no income limit. However, what can be difficult in a Chapter 13 is you have to repay back a portion of your debt. And Chapter 13 is really a good idea for individuals who are high income earners and they have stable income. They're not facing unemployment or layoff, and they want to save their home because they're behind on their payments, and maybe they're also behind on their car. And so what's typical is that once all of their bills are paid for reasonable and ordinary expenses like utilities and child care, mortgage payments, in their Chapter 13 bankruptcy, they'll pay a small portion back of the arrearages, the amounts they're behind on their house or the amount they're behind on their car, every month back to the court, and they'll disperse those funds back to their creditors. Now, if they have, say, a substantial amount of credit card debt or other unsecured debt, personal loans, maybe some repossessions, and they're behind on their house, a Chapter 13 will allow them to pay back that balance that's owed on the house along with the mortgage, and if there isn't any other income left, they probably won't be paying back any other debt. Now, each case is unique. It's, of course, case by case and income by income based on what kind of debt people have. But that's the biggest difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Namely, it's driven by income. So if you were to sit down with me, we'd go over your paychecks and see, where you fall and what you qualify for. And that also speaks to the advantages and disadvantages. Now, because I'm a fan of Chapter 7, and I like to see people get a complete fresh start and not have to pay back their debt, I see that as a really big advantage in a Chapter 7. Now, of course, for my clients who want to hold on to their houses and they want to repay, Chapter 13 is perfect for them. Gives them an opportunity to stop foreclosure, to stop a repossession of a vehicle, and continue on. Now, both, of course, affect your credit, and that's always a disadvantage in bankruptcy. And what we'll talk about probably in another radio cast is what you can do to improve your credit after bankruptcy. But that kind of gives you an idea, Cindy, of what you can expect in Chapter 7, Chapter 13, the differences and the advantages for them.
Thanks, Christy. We appreciate you answering our questions. If you have specific questions for Christy or would like to find out more about filing for bankruptcy in or around Phoenix, Arizona, visit Christy's website at ArizonaLegalAdvocacy.com.